Bitcoin versus the dollar, and a lot going to be decided this week, it looks like, as we do come to the culmination of the infrastructure deal, which is going to be, I believe, on Thursday for the vote. And with that in mind, if the result is bad, I probably would be looking for a nice move down, as usual. Anyways, for what it's worth right now, we do have a pretty obvious structure going on right here. And if you are bullish, you are looking at this as a somewhat immature W formation with resolution back above about 45,000 bucks. If that were to happen, meaning that you do get a 4-hour closure above about 45,000 or just a wick higher than what you saw right here, which is 152 on the index, then I would be looking for a move first, somewhere just shy of 47,000 bucks at the very least. Now, with that said, the W formation would have a measured move, and as it's shown right here, it actually would put Bitcoin above its $48,000 high. If you recall, like a week or two ago when I was talking about this region, that is the major region to be aware of. I would call a bear trap confirmation above that region, and look for retests of the prior highs of this run, and then very likely new highs on this run into the deeper 50s into October. But for what it's worth right now, if Bitcoin does start to come back down and either take out the last 42,700 low right here on a tick basis, or have a 4-hour closure below 43,000 bucks, probably better to wait for a closure in this case, I would be looking for this to come down. I mean, we did break the 21 on the weekly right here. That is, traditionally very, 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 very important for Bitcoin's long-term trend. And we are being governed by the 10 simple as well. This is not a bullish setup, to be fair. And we do see on the line chart, this is clearly a lower high, our first lower high confirmation on the weekly since, 2020s over here, realistically. So with that in mind, I typically do look for corrections down to the 55, which is in the mid 30s right now. And personally speaking, I do think that if Bitcoin were to choose the southern route on this one, meaning that we do start to close below 43, which is going to be your first big warning flag, and full on confirmation with the daily below 42,000 bucks right here, I would be looking for Bitcoin to fill the CME gap all the way back down to 33 or 34 or so from late July right there. With that in mind, we do see momentum oscillators over here, or let's actually go to momentum oscillators over here, are going to be a bit of a wild card today. Let's go over to CME. CME daily Stokes will actually cross back onto the upside with the closure above 42,000 bucks. Good. Okay. 12-hour will be crossing back up, or will be remaining up as long as above 43. 4-hour will be freshly crossing up with the closure above 41,850, and hourly is flopping down below 44.5, which, by the way, the hourly has been really, really good recently. So with that said, I would feel comfortable saying a couple things here. If Bitcoin does take out 45,000 bucks today, especially, then yes, I would be looking for at least a move to 47. It's probably going to be in line, of course, with one of our fib retracements right here. If I put them back on, yeah, that's going to be right around the 786, so 47 at the very least. Technically, you would have a technical target to a new high on this one. If that happens, I would call a bear trap confirmation and look for big moves up over the next few weeks into the deeper 50s, essentially, with stops along the way, obviously. And then, of course, risk or invalidation would be below about 43. And for what it's worth right now, this is more of a bearish setup than a bullish setup, to be fair. 5 days going to be closing today as well. Any sort of a closure below the 21 is going to be your first open and closure below that, since, look at the last time we saw that right in over here. That was essentially your last major correction in late May. So, lots going to be decided today, it looks like. Of course, you got the infrastructure deal coming in on Thursday as well, which will move the markets. But do we get a move down first? Do we get like a quick wick down, into the mid to low $30,000 territory first? I think it's very possible, assuming that those conditions are met. You might get some like this. And I do want to be on the record as saying, I do not think that Bitcoin is going to actually break below 30,000 bucks. I think that you'd probably get something like this. I still do like the underlying market dynamics. It's very clear that accumulation is going on within this region between low 30s and low 40s. And I wouldn't be surprised to see something like this, maybe based off of like some China bullshit news and in the infrastructure deal, and then maybe close back up above 40,000 bucks if that were to happen. But of course, we'll be doing these videos daily, so we will follow up on that. And again, actually, even right now, the 4-hour time frame is showing a lot. So below 43,000 bucks, big first warning signal. Daily closure below 42. I don't think that there's any more boolah hopium for short, medium, or maybe even, I wouldn't say long term, because I still do like this one long term. But also keep in mind, we do have the quarterly closure coming in at on Thursday, and any sort of a quarterly closure above the topside Toronto band at 44,000 bucks, which Bitcoin's within striking distance right now. That would also look really, really good for probably new all-time highs before end of year. Probably still looking at 6-digit Bitcoin by that point. So This is what I'd really be waiting on for myself, but lower term timeframes, do seem to hold a lot of weight right now. So with that said, hope this one serves you well. I'll be signing off now. Take care and see you soon.